The Roxamore Sports Network starts in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Can you feel that? Tell me, can you feel that? You see it coming? Yeah, let me help you with your vision. They losing their sight here. Time to send the world a message they might hear. Like Meek Mills, I'm making it quite clear. I'm chasing my dreams and fighting my nightmares. I'm going real hard. I'm talking words you understand. I'm talking real bars. I'm going everywhere you know. I'm talking real far. Yeah, it's time to raise a toast to this thing to the Lord the most. As I go from coast to coast, I'm talking north side, I'm talking south side, I'm talking east side, I'm talking west side. I'm going worldwide, I'm going worldwide, I'm going worldwide, I'm going worldwide. Yeah, it's time to let you know how I spit it when I flow. When I go and light a fuse and I set to let it blow. I'm talking worldwide, I'm going worldwide, I'm going worldwide, I'm going worldwide. Yeah, time to check my status and the GOAT is what it be. And you know I'm over 30, so my level is a G. And I may be from the hood, but I'm way beyond these streets. And my pockets hate a diet, so they always down to eat. Even though they screaming fame, and it's always spelling me. And I'll never hang it up till my mission is complete. And I'm looking at you haters, I suggest you take a seat. Cause it's all fun and games till a killer show his teeth. This is for them cats that be screaming homies. Claiming that you're real, but we know you're phony. Now I'm chillin' with my sons, they my one and only. Like the Chiller Brothers, yeah, we screamin' lions only. Step into this den, I welcome all who will dare. Never met a David, tell me whom shall I fear? Gotta rep the nation, black and gold is what I wear. If you look to your left, to your right, I'm everywhere. I'm talking north side, I'm talking south side, I'm talking east side, I'm talking west side. I'm going worldwide, I'm going worldwide, I'm going worldwide, I'm going worldwide. Yeah, it's time to let you know how I spit it when I flow. When I go and light a fuse and I set to let it.
Welcome everybody back to Roxamore Sports Network, where we're at Woodland Hills High School, Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, for the Martin Luther King Stand Up for Violence Tournament. It's been a great 4 days, and we're here making this happen. We have Newtown coming up versus Taylor Allderdice High School out of Pittsburgh. So plenty of action to come. Stay tuned. It's been fast-paced for 4 days, and I don't think today this game will be any different. You know, today, Martin Luther King Day. Happy Martin Luther King to everyone. But remember, this is about unity and about togetherness. And as we've seen in this tournament, in the spirit of some great competition, players have been able to get into little skirmishes, but say, hey, it's all in competition. We're all just trying to work hard and play to win. So we'll be getting starting lineup very shortly. I will be joined by my co-host, Ken Abacor, very shortly. So looking forward to another fast pace of action. These teams there's been 42 teams that have been here in this tournament, and we have 2 more teams coming up. Ken, welcome to our 4th game of the day.
Yes, thank you. Thank you for having me here. Got some pretty good action so far. And Newtown, they've been, this is a team that's been playing pretty well across this whole weekend. Then we also have Dice, who they also have interesting shirts. I'm looking to get more information about that around halftime or something like that. But I'm very looking forward to a lot of good action, definitely from the Newtown side for this matchup.
Yeah, so in tonight's game, Allderdice is going to be a little undersized, not by so much. We've seen a lot of teams with the 6'8", 7-footers. Yeah, so Allderdice. So this is Newtown being introduced. So that was Robinson, number 3, coming out. You have number 0, who's Bush, and this is a senior-laden team. So number 1 is Kyrie Johnson. 4 will be Stefan Morcano. Number 33 will be Andrew Mills, and a lot of scores on this Newtown team, scoring 12, averaging 12 points. We got number 3, Robinson, who's been averaging and bringing in 23 points per game. We're going to get Allderdice's lineup now.
All right, meanwhile, with the side of Allderdice, as they're about to get introduced right now, we have number 10. Now, Allderdice, their team, they actually have a lot of seniors here. In fact, actually, their entire starting lineup is all seniors, and all but one of them are over 6 feet tall. A couple of them are 6'3". Actually, 3 of them are 6'3". One of them 6'1", and another one is 5'7". We have number 10, Tony Henderson, who is a guard. We have Sean Grace, who's actually just being introduced right now. He's a 5'7" point guard. And that is Tony Henderson, who is now being introduced, 6'3" senior again. He averages about 15 points per game. We have a few players on this team that average around 15 points per game. Blake Haber is a forward who is 6'3", and he also averages about 15 points per game. Of course, he is a senior wearing number 32. We have wearing number 33, Rob Jones, who is a guard and 6'1", who averages about 18 points per game. He's about the highest average. I was told that last night he got about 25 points in his last game. And we have Sean Graves, who is the lone under 6 foot starter, who is he's a 2-year starter actually for the team. He's the only 2-year starter, and he's a point guard. And Devin Crummy is the head coach of Allderdice. So yep. Go ahead.
I've seen this Allderdice team play. They're a local city league team here in Pittsburgh, and they're very deliberate, but they do like to penetrate. Pretty similar to most of the teams that we've seen here in this tournament, but they're more perimeter, but they're not afraid to penetrate to the basket.
So this should be a really good one. We're starting that tip-off now with, very aggressive. Allderdice almost had the ball, but they didn't so much. Newtown, they were a little bit more ready to try and steal things away. Ultimately, no one was able to score any points there. Allderdice trying to drive things in, getting a little bit into the paint. Whereas Newtown ends up keeping the ball from going out of bounds. And right now it is Newtown's ball. This is the start of the first quarter. About 7:30 left. These quarters, they're 8 minutes long. We just had the ball go out of bounds for the first time with about 7:33 left in this first. Ball was passed into Stefan Marcano of Newtown, as they're going to try and work to get that ball over into the net.
So I know Coach Crummy was concerned about the transition defense on his team. He knows that Newtown, they play hard and they play fast, so they wanted to make sure that they got back defensively to negate any penetration to the basket.
As we now have number 32 of Allderdice, Blake Haber, who passes the ball in to number 12 of Allderdice, Sean Graves, that 5'7" point guard. Interesting to see how his height will play in effect into this, because he's actually currently the shortest person on the court by a few points. Allderdice, they just scored the first points of the game, which was a 3-pointer. As Newtown, a great drive into it, except they pass it out. And almost a successful 3-pointer there, and the ball ends up going out of bounds.
Yeah, Newtown couldn't answer that 3, but we got a lot of game to be played.
Yeah, but as that ball is now going back into the court, see will Allderdice keep trying to go for any kind of field goals? Try to go for another one, ends up unsuccessful. Newtown, very very big pass over there, almost goes out of bounds. Good catch, as they drive it around the paint and in, putting Newtown on the board for the first time with 2 points.
Yeah, long outlet pass by Newtown, and they were able to capitalize and get a nice shot off the glass.
And a very far 3 over there was not successful. Newtown, they're not going to chase it. They're just going to let it go out of bounds, give them a bit of a breather, and allow one of the Newtown players to pass it to number 0 of Newtown, Cam Bush, the 6-foot sophomore guard. The only sophomore as part of their starting lineup.
Ken, the court's been filled with 6'8", 6'6", and 6'7" all day. That this court seems like it has a little bit more breathing room, because these players aren't so big and long. It's quite interesting to see the makeup and dynamic of size between the two teams.
Yeah, that is definitely going to allow for a different kind of dynamic in this game. We'll see how the players end up kind of working around that. Maybe that 5'7" guard, maybe he won't have too many issues because he's not lacking too much. The tallest player on this court is only 6'3", and that's the only game where I've been able to say something like that, where it's only 6'3".
Yeah, the style of play won't be any different because as we can see, both teams are getting up and down, and they're looking for the quick shot.
Absolutely. With about 5:40 left to go in this first quarter, we have Allderdice, the home team, with 3 points, and Newtown, the away team, wearing their black jerseys with 2 points. Allderdice, they are wearing their white jerseys, white with green lettering. Newtown, black with maroon lettering, or maroon numbers, but white lettering.
No, Newtown showed a little matchup 2-3 zone. That last possession on offense for Allderdice, didn't quite recognize it and did not get a good shot.
As Allderdice, is passing the ball around.
So
Number
there's
33.
no shot clock this game. Notice that we've had the shot clock in a couple earlier games. We get a turnover there by Allderdice.
Yeah, I wonder why they don't have it. They chose not to do it for this one. It would have been kind of nice to see it. Along with the change in height, it would have been cool to see like how else the game would have been different if the shot clock had remained constant.
I'll tell you what, Bush, he climbed the chest of Tony Henderson so hard that it left something in Henderson's eyes.
And a wide one from 3, big brick. And we
in
got
an
a little
attempt
bit
to
of a call.
follow up, Henderson, fouled him from behind.
And that ends up being the second foul for the day against Allderdice. So far, Allderdice has 2 fouls, whereas Newtown, they have 1 foul.
Allderdice sets up a full court press, which is good, looking to contain the intensity and control the pace of the game. Yeah, that's a good job. Their press has created what is really a turnover for Newtown in the jump ball. Both teams are playing with good energy. Both teams are physically and mentally locked in to what's happening out on the floor for each team.
Absolutely, good bit of engagement here as Allderdice is passing the ball around, trying to work their way, maybe try and get into the paint a little bit. Although they go for the 3. Big rebound, Allderdice recovers it. Newtown recovers the second rebound. Now it's their turn.
That was a big rebound by Henderson to no avail, however.
And that's our first turnover. I haven't seen many of those, at least in this game. A little bit early, but...
Good positioning by Jones. Thus far in the offensive end, they're definitely, as I mentioned earlier, Allderdice is a perimeter shooting team. About their third or fourth 3 already in the first quarter.
And that is the first 3 for number 33 of Allderdice, and number 32 of Allderdice also has a
You got a
three-pointer.
5-on-3, and they pull up. Nice offensive rebound, another 3.
Ooh.
That's back-to-back 3s for Rob Jones, 6'1" senior. We're gonna see a lot of perimeter shooting from this Allderdice team. We do see on second shots, they're not running out on the perimeter to set it up. They're staying right in and taking the contact.
As that ball is out of bounds, Newtown's number 3, that is Martez Robinson, getting a chance to throw it in. Newtown, they had 2 players for a moment fighting for the rebound. Got to be a little bit more organized on that.
Call communication. If I have my hand on the ball and we're both fighting for a teammate saying, hey, I got it, and then you let it go.
And that was actually one of the things that the Newtown coach was telling me before this matchup. He wanted to see a little bit more verbal communication, more talking between the teammates, and those are the kind of mistakes that it ends up stopping from happening.
I tell you what, they're playing strong down low, both teams.
Absolutely, and another three, almost.
Takedown wasn't quite the AFC or NFC championship. But that was a true takedown, Ken.
Bit of a hard fall there, but looks like we're going to have a couple free throws, it looks like. And we will see what happens here. No, it's a throw-in.
So unselfish play by the Allderdice Dragons. That again, that's Jones 3 for 3, and Coach Wise, Ken says he's seen enough.
And with that timeout called, that is pretty good passing and organization over there from the Allderdice side. What else do you have to say about that?
Well, as I said, I've seen them play twice now, and what they're just displaying right now is who they are. Perimeter shooting team that loves the three-point shot, and they'll follow up. Like, they have enough size inside that if they miss a shot, they have some people in there battling for a rebound.
And perhaps those are the right now Allderdice is ahead by about 8 points over Newtown. So those are the kind of organizational differences that are really reflecting in the score right now.
Yeah, and with Newtown, I see a lot of drive to the basket, not really passing and letting other people touch the ball before they, really work to score. So maybe a little bit more being unselfish, pass the ball around, be more patient and deliberate on the offense. You got a little 1-2-2 half-court trap by Allderdice, so Coach Crummey's mixing up his defenses.
As that ball is being passed around the outside, steps a little bit into the two-point area to shoot it, unsuccessful on that, as Allderdice now has that ball back. As they go for a three. If you had said that it was going to be in, I think it would have gone in on that one.
Yeah, I've been pretty good today, right? I've been pretty accurate on my calls. But you can hear Coach Crummey saying, hey, swing the ball. Let some other people touch it. And right now, Allderdice is, I would say, Houston Rocket-like in their offense where they're settling. Well, they're not really settling. That's who they are as an offensive team.
As that ball is now back into the hands of Allderdice. Newtown with an unsuccessful
nice
shot.
Stop and pop, Ken.
Ooh.
That's a nice stop and pop.
That was really good. And that leads us to about 40 seconds left in this first quarter. We have Allderdice with 14 points, Newtown with 6 points as Allderdice drives it in. Unsuccessful, now successful after getting their own rebound. With about 30 seconds left to go, 16 points for Allderdice, 6 points for Newtown. 2 fouls on each team.
So Allderdice has scored in a little barrage here, which has opened up the gap early in this game.
And so far, number 33 of Allderdice, Rob Jones, showing that he might still have some of the same momentum from last night where he had 25 points across a single game. So far in the first quarter, he has 9 points.
Well, what you like to see is consistency. You like to know that your players show up every game with that same energy, that same intensity, and that same desire to get it done on both ends of the court.
Absolutely.
Most players, they like to get up and down. Not too many teams is going to walk the ball up any longer in this game. And that's at the elementary school level and at the high school level. You don't see too many teams, walking it up court.
Right, yeah. With about 15 seconds to go. Still an 8-point gap. I'm sure Allderdice, they've recognized the clock, slowing things down a good amount. They're probably going to get a shot in basically right at the end. 4 seconds, 3 seconds. Shot from 3, and that goes in. A beautiful 3, leading the score to 19 at the end of the first quarter. 19 points for Allderdice wearing their white jerseys. Newtown with 8 points wearing their black jerseys. And we'll see what kind of adjustments end up being made at this at the end of this quarter. So what do you have to say about that? What are your takeaways?
I'm going to call that last 10 seconds the double E factor because that was excellent execution that ended up in another tray for the Taylor Allderdice Dragons. They were deliberate in their offense, they played within themselves, and they were scoring from all over the floor outside the three-point range. So what does Newtown do? Defend the three-point line. They're going to extend their zone. They're changing defenses also, but Allderdice has truly proven that they're going to live by that three-point line.
Absolutely, and yeah, that's something that Newtown, they're just going to have to stay alert for. And well, how do you think Allderdice has been in the paint so far? I know they haven't had to do much in the paint, but how do you think they've been overall?
Well, I think on second shots, they've been hitting the glass hard offensively, and they've actually been scoring off of their missed shots. So to your point, they're doing an excellent job inside off of missed shots because their game isn't to penetrate and go to the hoop. Their game is to shoot it and then position themselves for possible missed shots.
And there we go. This is, for those of you just tuning in, this is Roxamore Sports Network, where we are live at Woodland Hills High School for the 2020 Woodland Hills MLK Weekend Stand Against Violence Boys and Girls Basketball Tournament. We are here with in a matchup where it is the second quarter, very start of the second quarter between Allderdice and Newtown. As with about 7:45 left. At the end of the first quarter, it was 19 points for Allderdice and 8 points for Newtown, and we'll see how this second quarter goes.
It's starting off the same way for Newtown as the beginning of the foot in on some wiggle and some dancing to the basket and drew the foul.
And with that, we have our second free throw for Newtown. They got that first one. Will they get the second one? Yes, they will, and that makes it a 9-point differential. Newtown now is in the double digits in points with 10 points.
So Newtown showing a little press themselves, easily broken with the pass by Allderdice.
This is what you were saying earlier with how Allderdice is living around that three-point line. They just had like basically four men right around there. Eventually, some of them end up moving in, but they still ended up taking the shot from outside that three-point arc.
So, as Robinson did score, that was really a one-on-three. Could have got a better shot because, you know, everybody's cheering because he made it. However, not really a good shot. Not really a good opportunity.
Right.
And you see Allderdice just slowing it down, recomposing themselves.
A good pick set by number 32 of Allderdice. And a little bit of excitement over there from the Newtown bench as that whistle was blown, sending the ball back to Allderdice. Has a bit of creative positioning there from Newtown to get the ball around two Allderdice players who were hanging around the around that backcourt. Unforced turnover.
So one difference right now in the score is that Newtown is turning the ball over. And why are they turning the ball? Because their whole intent is to get to the basket, not to see what's really open. A blown defensive assignment. Allderdice doesn't make them pay, but Newtown needs to compose themselves on both ends.
And just about on cue there, Newtown almost with that turnover. Luckily, this paid off in their favor, getting a little bit of that and one action there. But yeah, that almost ended up going the other way yet again.
Yeah, I won't call that lucky. I'll call that fortunate because, again, we've seen players throughout this tournament leave their feet on the pass, and with the length that's been on this court, those passes are not going to make it to that destination of your teammate.
And with this, Allderdice, another wide shot. Another shot from far out. Doesn't work out in their favor. Newtown getting the ball back. And Newtown going for their own three. Unsuccessful in that aspect. But do you think Newtown really should be going for threes at this point?
Absolutely not. I think Newtown is way outside themselves. Yeah, they made that, right? That was a good shot. That'll help them on the scoreboard. But honestly, they seemingly are playing out of control, really on both ends.
I know the scoreboard, the announcers incorrectly marked that as a three-pointer, but that was actually a two-pointer for Newtown. as Allderdice, they just missed their shot. Now it's Newtown's ball to bring it back. I liked some of what Newtown was doing in the paint earlier and a little bit closer to the net. So I agree with you. I think they really shouldn't be trying to go for threes at this point yet.
So a couple things I'm going to note. So in the last few possessions, Newtown has done a much better job in boxing out. The last possession you've seen all 5 black shirts in the paint, boxing out, and they were able to secure the ball. And then right now on the Allderdice side, they have, they're buying into that Newtown intensity of up and down when that's not how they play. And as a result, they just had a foul called.
So you'd say a little bit of Allderdice being slightly out of their comfort zone a little bit.
Yeah, they're absolutely outside. They're outside of their basketball personality. As I like to say, we've seen earlier that when Allderdice would penetrate and kick it out, they had wide open looks. Now they're speeding themselves up and taking ill-advised shots, which is out of control. That's not who they are.
And with that, a little bit of a spin around there. Allderdice catching their rebound. They're kind of having to stay out of the paint there because Newtown, they have that place like on lockdown.
Yeah, they're monsters on the board. There's no white jerseys going to that offensive rebound.
Yep, and that's allowing Newtown to catch more of their momentum. Just at the start of this quarter, it was 19-10 or something like that.
Right, and you can see number 10 for Allderdice, Henderson, say, hey, slow it up as he jacks up a 3. So I think he wanted the team to slow it up, but at the same time, you have to see what you have. What's a good shot, and if there's a better shot that you can give to somebody else.
And unfortunately for Newtown, this is a chance for free throws by number 10 of Allderdice. That would be Tony Henderson, the 6'3" senior guard.
Yeah, turnovers on both sides for the last 3 to 5 minutes. They've both been turning the ball over, which has benefited Newtown because if you look at the score, Allderdice was almost up by at least 8 to 10 points, and now you have a 1-point game.
And with that, could be a 2-pointer. Depends if Tony Henderson makes this, which he does, making it just a 2-point game. Just like that, Newtown has managed to close in that gap pretty well.
That was just a soft 2-2-1, just to slow it down.
Good pick by number 10 of Newtown as that ball is now driven into the net. Number 10 coming off that bench with a pretty good, coming off the bench of Newtown with a good pick. So with that timeout called, you guys are watching Roxamore Sports Network. I am Ken Almacal alongside my co-host, Dr. Karen Hall. And we would like to thank, during this timeout, some of our sponsors. We would like to thank the Will Banks Consulting Group. Is your amplify their strengths beyond sports for a lifetime of success and career satisfaction. Call the number 1-833-924-9675 today for your free consultation with Will Banks Consulting Group. We'd also like to thank Wilson's Night Out. Come to Wilson's Night Out, not just for a night out, but for an experience of Caribbean cuisine with their happy hour Monday through Friday, 5 to 7 p.m. with specialty drinks. Looking for that certain room to host parties, meetings, social events, receptions, repasts, and more. Wilson's Night Out. This is Roxamore Sports Network. You are watching it here from Woodland Hills High School, where we are broadcasting the 2020 Woodland Hills MLK Weekend Stand Against Violence Boys and Girls Basketball Tournament. Just had a little bit of a tussle for the ball there. Were you seeing what was happening there?
Yeah, Sean Graves on the Allderdice end. Right now they're up by 2, and Sean was able to be his defender off the dribble. Nice layup, nice control layup to the basket. That's the difference right now. Both teams have picked up their play. Both teams are scrapping right now. So we'll see what happens within the next 2-3 minutes offensively. Hopefully in the timeout, in Allderdice's timeout, Coach Crummey was drawing up some X's and O's in terms of bringing players off the baseline.
As Newtown passing the ball around, navigating around that horn, more likely to dribble the ball inside the paints, unsuccessful in that layup. Allderdice ball. As Allderdice, they're now going in, but then out of the paint as Newtown's players, they have that paint quite on lockdown. So we're going to see if Allderdice is going to try and navigate some players more inward for a field goal, or if they're just going to try and stay outwards.
So Allderdice has opened up the floor. That's the reach from behind. Good bounce pass. That's a good fast break. That's the way you capitalize off of a steal.
And just like that, we also have our first tie of the game with both teams at 22 points. Quite the comeback by Newtown on this one, recognizing how to keep Allderdice uncomfortable and keep the things at their tempo, just like the way they wanted to dictate things. Lack of success from shooting within the lane there by Allderdice as a foul is called.
So that's those second and third shots that I was talking about earlier. You know, they live and die by the three, but you'll see 2 or 3 Allderdice guys crash the boards to get some offensive rebounds.
Yeah, what would you say other than execution? What do you think they need when it comes to being in that area?
Yeah, I think they just need to slow themselves down. I think they're playing Newtown's game, which is very up tempo, and that's not who they are. To my point, there's a travel because you're penetrating and you got your teammates standing and watching. Whereas earlier in the offense that we watched, Ken, they were passing the ball. 5 players were touching the ball. They were able to find a real good shot to finish the play.
And we have, with about 1:30 left, we have Newtown navigating the ball in, trying to work around an Allderdice defense where they're swarming around a lot. Bit of a tricky tip over there to counter a very aggressive Allderdice defense. Shot from win the lane and a good lob into the net. 2 points, putting Newtown, with their first lead of the match. 24 points for Newtown, 22 points for Allderdice.
Yeah, Newtown is punching Allderdice in their throat right now, and they're getting all the way into the basket with several different touches before they even score.
And Newtown almost forcing a couple turnovers there almost. Didn't exactly work out in their favor.
Newtown's picked up their defensive intensity, more active with their hands. You know, they're not fouling until the whistle's blown, and they're doing some double teams, whether it's designed or on their own, but they're all over the ball right now. Newtown is all over the ball. Yeah, excellent call. 2 men. I talked about they've gotten more aggressive with their hands, but you can't lay on the man's hip.
And with that, this is the ball of Allderdice. Ready to pass it in on their own side. Newtown all over the place. A little bit of a call there that Newtown doesn't exactly like there. Called against Kyrie Johnson of Newtown.
Yeah, so what that call was about, you have to give the man 5 feet before, and you cannot break the plane, but that means bring your hand over the sideline. Otherwise, if that happens again to Newtown, the team will be assessed as technical.
Ooh. That's going to be something Newtown's going to have to be on the alert about. With about 45 seconds left in this second quarter, almost the first forced turnover there. Newtown, they've been getting a little bit bigger in terms of those attempts at forced turnovers. What do you say about that?
That's because Jones is dribbling. That just happened on the right side of the last possession for Allderdice. And then the same thing, the same player, he does the same thing. He literally turned it over.
And in the middle of this timeout, we would like to thank another one of our sponsors, SOAR, S-O-A-R. They know the rules of the game, but do they know the rules of life? SOAR Youth Empowerment teaches your teen athletes the rule of life. For more information, visit www.soarcoachingacademy.com or call 609-837-7237. That's SOAR, S-O-A-R. And we are, that timeout is about to come to an end. We're back at the action here at Woodland Hills High School for this basketball tournament with Newtown ahead, the guest team. Newtown at 24 points. Meanwhile, Allderdice is only 2 points behind at 22 points with about 39 seconds left in this second quarter.
Allderdice has been giving the ball away. They need to take care of their candy a little bit sweeter to get some better results.
And a shot from 3, unsuccessful for Allderdice. Newtown, we'll see, are they going to try and slow things down a little bit for this, for these last few seconds? Yes, they will. Players are slightly listening to instructions from their coach. With about 13 seconds left to go.
So Allderdice needs to be ready to defend the paint because they've shown they're looking to go inside or outside.
That was a three-pointer that you didn't call earlier. But at any rate, that's a three-pointer for Newtown that puts them ahead. The score is 27 for Newtown, 22 points for Allderdice. This is Roxamore Sports Network, where we are watching this game between Newtown and Allderdice, and we will be right back. This is Roxamore Sports Network, where we are live here at Woodland Hills High School for the 2020 Woodland Hills MLK Weekend Stand Against Violence Boys and Girls Basketball Tournament. You are joining us at halftime between a matchup between Newtown and Allderdice. My name is Ken, and I am here with my co-host,
Dr. Karen K. Hall.
And in the middle of this halftime, we have some sponsors to thank. Without them, these kind of broadcasts would not be possible. First one we'd like to thank is Behern and Ernsberger. Do you need a law firm in Pittsburgh? Have you or a member of your family suffered a serious injury? Did an insurance company refuse your claim? You may need help from a proven lawyer who will work for you. Call attorney Dan Ernsberger at 412-391-2515. Thank you, Behern and Ernsberger. Also, we have Maggie Jason's Listings. Looking for a realtor to work hard for you? You found her. Maggie Jason's Listings encompass staging, professional photography, information boxes with top-grade promo cards, open houses, and target marketing. To learn more about her featured listings, call 412-999-9528. Thank you, Maggie Jason's Listings.
And then we have Assure America. We know that insurance comes with a lot of questions. So Assure America has the answers. Assure America can help protect your property, your vehicles, your business, and your home. So be sure with America. Go to AssureAmerica.com or call 412-489-5838. And then Hill District Federal Credit Union. They have served the community for almost 50 years. Their purpose is to improve financial health of their members. So stop by at 2021 Center Avenue here in Pittsburgh or give them a call at 412-281-0822.
We would also like to thank Big Rock and RAC Cleaning, a 5-star cleaning company rated by the people for both residential and commercial cleaning. If you're looking for regular maid service or even a one-time clean, office clean, or even a post-construction clean, look no further than Big Rock and RAC Cleaning, and they're the company for you. To inquire, call the number 412-203-8213. That is Big Rock and RAC Cleaning. And finally, get your copy of the newly released single Worldwide by Boona in all digital stores for just $1. Go to iTunes, Amazon, Spotify, and more to get your copy today of the newly released single Worldwide. We're still trying to lobby to get that one played here in the high school gymnasium. I don't know if that's ever going to happen, though. Maybe we can get a bit of lobbying in. But anyway, we're currently at halftime with a few minutes to go until the game starts. So what are your takeaways from this first half?
So it was a good delivery pace by both teams. Taylor Allderdice started out really composed and running a smooth offense, getting very good looks. But the tempo of Newtown, which was push it up and go to the basket, it played right into Taylor Allderdice's hands. Where they started to speed up their offense, they weren't getting as good looks. And looking at our stat sheet, Ken, you see that Allderdice has shot 17 threes to Newtown's 7. Now, Taylor Allderdice is living by the three-point line, but the difference between them being up and down is the free throw line. They've only been to the line, Allderdice has only been to the line twice, whereas Newtown is 4 for 5 from the free throw line. That's 80% from the line.
Yeah, that's basically Allderdice. They've been getting sloppier, and Newtown. I'm really liking that free throw percentage there because that's going to help them carry a lot of momentum in. These Allderdice, I'm sure they're pretty frustrated right now, and they're going to have to look out because it's costing them.
Another stat that stares out at us is that rebounding, and that also created points for Newtown. It's 24-18. Newtown wiping the glass clean for that first half, and it resulted in scores. Surprisingly, both teams have 6 to 5 turnovers. It surely looked like there were more turnovers happening during that first half.
Yeah, quite a few. Quite a few turnovers. Meanwhile, some of the other statistics here, seeing a lot of productivity from some of the players. We've got Rob Jones, who's been scoring a good amount of points for Allderdice. But we'll see how much some of the other players end up spreading the wealth a little bit more. I'm sure they're going to end up causing a few more substitutions across this. What else do you have to say?
Well, there's balanced scoring for Allderdice. No one's really leading it by many. However, when you look at Newtown, you have number 3, Robinson, who's leading the Newtown team with 12 points, and no one else has more than 5. So to me, that says you need to move the ball around a bit, get other people involved in the offensive scoring. Because eventually, if Allderdice made some adjustments, that is shutting down Martez by squeezing him on the defense and making him pass the ball. One other thing, if Allderdice can protect their paint, because as I said toward the end of the first half, Newtown's points were all at the basket. And they finished the half with a 3, but that is not what they've been scoring on the first half.
All right, so that is those are most of your. What do you see coming up as like the biggest changes for each team?
Yeah, I just think Allderdice is playing back in terms of their own basketball personality and not rushing in their offense.
All right, well, that is your halftime report for this matchup between Newtown and Allderdice, with Newtown entering this second half with 27 points, Allderdice with 22 points. You're watching us live from Woodland Hills High School. This is the Roxamore Sports Network. We'll be right back.
Hi, welcome to Fit for Boxing Club.
Here at Fit for Boxing, you'll find a fast, fun, and effective workout where you can burn up to 1,000 calories.
Come try a free class at Fit for Boxing, where beginners are always welcome. It's fun for the whole family, people of all ages. Old or young, it doesn't matter. In addition to our trainer-led workouts, we also offer private lessons, community fundraiser and team building events for local companies and more.
Hi, my name's Mario. I've been a member at Fit for Boxing for a little over a year now. If you need to get a good workout in, come to Fit for Boxing, and Rich and his staff will take care of each and every one of you.
Fit for Boxing Club is located in Hampton Township, just outside of the city of Pittsburgh on William Flynn Highway. Come learn how to box and have fun. Call Fit for Boxing Club at 412-213-3584 or visit our website at www.fitforboxingclub.com.
This is Roxamore Sports Network, where we are back at Woodland Hills High School for the 2020 Woodland Hills MLK Weekend Stand Against Violence Boys and Girls Basketball Tournament. My name is Ken Abaca, and I am here next to my co-host,
Dr. Karen K. Hall.
And we are here at the start of the second half, the third quarter, where Allderdice is down currently by 5 points. 22 points for Allderdice, 27 points for the visiting Newtown, where a turnover was just forced after a pass by Newtown. So we are back into the action and ready to see some changes and adjustments made by both teams after the first half. We noticed in the last half that Allderdice, when they had to get into the paint a little bit, they basically couldn't get into the paint when they had to because Newtown really had that on lockdown.
Right. Both teams come out with turnovers. You know, last play, Graves tried to get Henderson on the back door. So they're trying to run some more sets, which is Allderdice in their style of play.
And a shot for three. Unsuccessful for Allderdice. Newtown's ball. See if Newtown's going to be the first team to score in this second half. Already 1 minute of the third quarter off of the clock.
So Jones, who just missed that last three-pointer by Allderdice, is now 4 for 8 from three-point line. So as a player, you may want to recognize that and move in a little closer. Continue to shoot, but take a step inside to three. Good recognition by the Dragons to set up their offense. In Newtown, their hands are down. They're reacting to the defense.
And Allderdice still staying out of the paint. Not much they were able to do in the paint anyway. A bit of like a shot from a bit more outside in the two-point area still, but it was an unsuccessful shot.
That's a good job in protecting the paint.
And we have a call over there. Good show of sportsmanship between number 33 of Allderdice and number 3 of Newtown. Keeping things nice and clean on a weekend that's standing against violence.
Great example of the tournament we're in. But, you know, my thought is, Ken, not every shot has to be a layup. I mean, that is perhaps the best shot in the game of basketball. But not every shot results in a layup. Stop and pop.
Yeah, and these teams, they don't realize they have the time to be able to do that. And a bit of an errant pass there and a foul called. It's going to be the ball of Allderdice, it looks like.
You know, perhaps that's the combination of television, perhaps the combination of television and playing outside, the street ball, and then you come into an organized setting, and that's what you do. That's who you are. But not every shot is a layup.
And another pass that ends up getting taken away by Newtown. Pass for Allderdice. So Newtown gets their hands on it. Just like you were saying, a layup there. Do you think a layup was the better idea there with the kind of traffic around?
No, I don't. See, that's why I say, you know what, penetrate and find the open player. And right now, it's a sloppy play for both teams coming out of halftime. You got players reaching, players turning the ball over. No patience being demonstrated on either side of the ball.
Ooh, that almost number 0 of Newtown almost lost his balance. Cam ended up losing it. A successful three-pointer. Finally a three-pointer coming from Allderdice, a successful one. And that brings us back to a tie game with the score being 27-all.
Yeah, the score is 27-all, but it doesn't seem like Coach Crummy is too impressed with the play of his Dragons. Right now, they're shooting a lot of hot air. If I can do a little similarity to being a Dragon. That was my dry humor. He didn't quite catch it, but that's all right. But really, their play's been sloppy. They're turning the ball over, and their shot selection is very poor. And this is coming out of halftime.
And with about 30 seconds left to go in this timeout, we would like to thank a sponsor, Wilbanks Consulting Group. Is your athlete struggling to see a career path after graduation? If your child lacks direction, Career Exploration can help. Career experts at the Wilbanks Consulting Group can help your athlete identify their strengths beyond sports for a lifetime of success and career satisfaction. Call the number 1-833-924-9675 today for your free consultation from Wilbanks Consulting Group. As that timeout is now over, we are back at the action between Newtown and Allderdice, where the score is now 27-all with 5:12 left in the third quarter.
Blake Haber for Allderdice. He's shooting over 50% from the three-point line. So he's really been their only consistent player as we start the second half. Jones did a great job earlier from the three-point line, but since that time he's been shooting some strong bricks.
A little bit of a pick set there by number 33 of Newtown as the ball is driven up into the up towards the net, and a layup just like you were talking about.
All I can do right now is shake my head.
And this time, after a foul being called, first foul of the quarter against Allderdice, we have number 1 of Newtown. That would be...
That's Kyrie Johnson, 6'1" senior.
Yep, and he's taking some of the free throws. And successful. With a now 2-point gap between the two teams. Still anyone's game. This has actually been one of the more lower scoring games, though, of this day so far.
I would agree with you. You know, by this time we were in the 40s and the 50s.
Yeah, what would you say is causing more of that low scoring, though? I would say, would you say execution is definitely a part of it?
Poor shooting. I mean, even though both teams are getting to the rim, and they're not finishing. Poor shooting.
Yeah, like you said, their selection of shots. Got to get a little bit more creative here.
So it's more one-on-one. And Allderdice right now, even though he may have been camping, they're not doing a good job of protecting home, which is the pain.
And with that being called, it's now 31-27 with Newtown ahead, and they also get a couple free throws in their favor. Number 33 of Newtown, that would be Andrew Mills of Newtown.
So neither team is in foul trouble, but this first 4 minutes of the second half, we've heard a lot of whistles.
Oh, and a good pick there by number 11. Allowed number 32 of Allderdice to try and get a better shot off. It was still a shot within the three-point area. Unsuccessful shot, and whistle has been blown. And it's going to be the ball of Allderdice who's going to throw it in.
So both teams are doing a good job on the offensive glass. Both teams on those offensive rebounds have been going to the basket and not converting.
Bit of me is a little bit surprised that Newtown wasn't ready for that bit of that throw in to try and pick that one off. But Newtown or Allderdice at any rate still staying outside the paint. Okay, now it's driven in, but a bit of sloppy ball handling over there.
Yeah, players already have their mind made up. Once they receive the pass, they're not even looking the floor over to find out where's the open gap. They're just going. It's a great place for a trap.
Yep, Allderdice still a little bit afraid to try and penetrate the lane over there. Newtown with the ball. They kept driving in, and they get that layup. giving them an extra 2 points. As Allderdice passing the ball around.
A lot of dribbling by the Dragons. A lot of dribbling, a lot of one-on-one play right now.
And a successful three-pointer for Allderdice, making the score now 30-34 with Allderdice now just 4 points behind.
So if Allderdice can play some steady defense without fouling, although it's only a 4-point deficit, they can tie this game up, but they have to play defense without the fouls.
And a three-point attempt. Ooh, and a beautiful delivery from downtown. A three-pointer, or number 2 of Newtown. That would be Twan Carter with that beautiful three-point delivery.
Good pass. That's an excellent pass.
And that's some of the organization that you're wanting to see out here, isn't it?
Oh, that's an excellent pass. You know, the ball handler looking up, the teammate running the lane, and an excellent pass and a great finish. That was if we had an instant replay, I'd vote to show that one again.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, that was actually a time where a layup was warranted,
yes,
right?
Absolutely. Because, you know, you take what the defense gives you, and not all the time are they giving you, although you do create your shot, it's to penetrate and to stop and kiss it inside the 3 to 5 point range. Nothing wrong with that shot.
Yeah, that was actually a good one. As this timeout is now winding over to an end, with the score now 30 for Allderdice, 39 for Newtown, with 2:29 left in this third quarter.
These are very offensive-minded players, so they're driving into the pressure opposed to driving in and stopping and getting a much better look without hands all in their faces.
As we now have Allderdice dribbling that ball down. See what Allderdice manages to do with this one. Newtown definitely keeping most of the paint locked out as they catch that rebound, and Newtown's the one cleaning that glass as they
he's out
drive
of control.
down.
Oh my goodness. I got nervous over here, Ken.
Yeah, that was there wasn't enough control on that one. What do you think they should have done instead of just trying to drive down like that?
Bush should have slowed down. I mean, great speed, push the ball ahead. But you know what? You got to slow it down. You're way out of control.
Oh, absolutely. Luckily though for Newtown, they get a couple free throws on this one. They score one of them. Score is number 33 of Newtown. That is Andrew Mills taking these free throws. The score is now 40 points for Newtown, 30 for Allderdice.
So I made a point earlier about Allderdice playing defense without the foul, and they're still not protecting the paint. Newtown is getting any shot they want inside the paint, below the block, and they're getting the offensive rebounds. So that's why Allderdice is finding themselves in a little bit of trouble right now. A lot of game left, but the margin is opening up.
Oh, absolutely. And a bit of a step back. A little bit better than, I guess, trying to drive for a layup in that case with kind of traffic.
So that's called being bailed out by the whistle. There was nowhere to go. He had two players with their hands extending out to be another 2 to 3 inch taller with nowhere to go. And in turn, he ended up dancing with getting nothing. Well, he gets to the line and shoots too.
Thank you for explaining that one, as now Allderdice has their chances for some free throws. Rob Jones, number 33 of Allderdice, is trying to take these shots to try and close this 11-point deficit that they have so far. And we would like to take a moment to also thank one of our sponsors. This time we're going to thank Wilson's Night Out. Come to Wilson's Night Out, not just for a night out, but for an experience of Caribbean cuisine with their happy hour Monday through Friday, 5 to 7 p.m. with some specialty drinks. Looking for that certain room to host parties, meetings, social events, receptions, repasts, and more. Wilson's Night Out, thank you for your support of Roxamore Sports Network.
Good help, great help on the defense. Clean shot, clean look.
And with that, Allderdice now has that ball as they're trying to see what they try and do with this one. Got balled out the last time. And Newtown again there for the rebound, like you were talking about earlier.
Little frustration. There was no way to get the ball but to slap, and as a result, that's another foul for Henderson, number 10. But both coaches are staying aggressive. Both coaches are pressing. You get a 1-2-2 on the ball press, looking to trap the corner. So Newtown definitely want to stay off the sidelines.
As Newtown, I like some of their positioning that they've just had right there. A few of their players managing to break loose at certain times. Newtown's number 33, I think he's currently the tallest player on the court right now, tallest and biggest in size, using it a little bit more to his advantage to try and make some movement with the ball despite being closer to traffic.
I'm not going to use the word bully, but Allderdice is getting a bit manhandled inside because, again, Newtown, they're getting whatever they want in the paint at any time, and they're drawing fouls, and they're getting to the line.
Up, and that free throw is and with that number 33 of Newtown ends up getting one of the free throws in. And a bit of a rejection by number 0 of Newtown. Looks like a foul was called, though. And currently we are in the third quarter with 19.2 seconds left as number 33 of Allderdice is shooting some free throws. That would be Rob Jones, who is currently at 11 points on the day. The second highest scorer on the court right now for Allderdice is it was Allderdice with 11 points on the game. Second highest scorer is number 32 of Allderdice with 9 points. As Newtown dribbling the ball around, a little bit sloppy there right at the end, and it's out on Allderdice, out on Newtown, and it's the ball of Allderdice.
So, a press, you put on a press to create tempo, to force tempo, and that possession there, Newtown did a good job of passing the ball, but you had a teammate who wasn't ready for the ball, equaling into a turnover.
And with about 3 seconds left, shoot from wide out 3, unsuccessful, and none of the shots end up going in. So at the end of this quarter, of this third quarter, it is 32 points for Pittsburgh Allderdice, whereas it is 42 points for Newtown. And this is Roxamore Sports Network, and we would like to thank some more of our sponsors. Maggie Jason's Listings. Looking for a realtor to work hard for you? You found her. Maggie Jason's Listings encompass staging, professional photography, information boxes with top-grade promo cards, open houses, and target marketing. To learn more about her featured listings, call the number 412-999-9528, Maggie Jason's Listings. Also, Assure America. Insurance comes with a lot of questions. Assure America has the answers. Assure America can help protect your property, business, vehicles, and home. Be sure with Assure America. Go to AssureAmerica.com or call 412-489-5838. Assure America. And we are back here with in Woodland Hills High School at the start of the fourth quarter between a matchup with Allderdice and Newtown. You are watching it live here on the Roxamore Sports Network. My name is Ken, and I am here with my co-host,
Dr. Karen Hall.
And there we go. And we are now starting this fourth quarter with a 10-point differential between the two teams, with not too much long to go. What do you think? How do you think this fourth quarter is going to play out so far, Dr.
Well,
Hall?
It starts off with some exclamation points by Andrew Mills out of Newtown. You know, both teams are exhibiting their passion to play, so now they just need to be a bit smarter and just take their time and execute. Be deliberate to get some scores. Allderdice needs to score. Simple and easy. They get two more, Ken, but they're working really hard to get a look at the basket, and that's credit to Newtown.
Yeah, they would call that like analysis paralysis or something like that.
Yeah, we're getting close to that. Yes, we are.
Oh, and a shot from downtown, a beautiful downtown shot from number 33 of Newtown. That would be Andrew Mills, having a very productive day, who has 16 points on the day, currently the highest scorer on the court. Second highest scorer for both teams on the court right now, and on the court for Newtown is number 3 of Newtown. That is Martez Robinson with 12 points.
In less than a minute, Andrew Mills scored the first 5 points for Newtown.
And with that puts the score actually at 47 points for Newtown, 34 points for Allderdice, and for the most part, it would almost seem like Newtown has more of the momentum and is more in control. Although Newtown or Allderdice was able to force a bit of a turnover there, it didn't exactly work out in their favor though.
Yeah, as I mentioned, you know, seeing Allderdice play 2 other times, they're a bit out of character. They're really forcing some shots. They're not very sharp right now in their offense, but they're still fighting.
Oh, and number 10 of Newtown, way too wide open over there. Didn't get the shot off, but manages to draw a bit of a foul over there. That is number 10, Cam Sparrow.
So I'm real big in transition defense, and I know that was one of the factors for Allderdice in terms of getting back because of the speed from the players of Newtown. And they just got beat with a pass over top of the defense.
And this gap is getting wider and wider with Newtown now up by 14 points. Do you see this one growing any bit bigger during the rest of this quarter?
Well, it depends on how Allderdice plays offensively. They're not very sharp, as I mentioned, in getting good shots. They're just forcing it and taking it. I can't even use the word creating. And honestly, it's not being called, but they're traveling because they're making poor decisions in where they want to shoot from.
Meanwhile, as that three-pointer ends up unsuccessful, actually, Allderdice catches that rebound. Whistle ends up being blown. I want to notice the benches. Right now, the coach of Newtown, I think he's kind of been one of the most composed coaches that I've seen all day. Not too loud, definitely doing his necessary yelling and raising his voice and stuff, but I see a lot of composure coming from that side of the bench. What are you noticing about Allderdice, for example?
Well, Coach Crummy, he's definitely into it. He sounds a bit disappointed that they're not able to score. Their points are coming so hard. They're just fighting for 1, for 2 baskets, for 3-point shots, and they're not converting. So they're struggling. And I'm looking at the body language of the Allderdice players.
Yeah, perhaps that all is reflecting as that. Oh, and a good layup over there. Good drive into the paint, into the lane, and now the score. And now Newtown is at 51 points. First team to be over 50.
So there's a scoring drought. I call them scoring droughts. When you're not scoring and the other team keeps building the lead, and that's where Allderdice is right now offensively. But you can still pick up some momentum if you get it done on the defensive end. Get some steals, get some deflections, But Allderdice is in a scoring drought at this moment for the first 3 minutes of this fourth quarter.
And with that, the score is now 51 for Newtown, 35 for Allderdice. And we would like to thank one of our sponsors right now, Hill District Federal Credit Union. The Hill District Federal Credit Union has serviced the community for almost 50 years. Our purpose is to improve the financial health of our members so that we are not just surviving, but thriving. For more information on how to become a member, please stop in at 2021 Center Avenue, Pittsburgh, PA 15219, or give us a call at the number 412-281-0822. That is the Hill District Federal Credit Union.
In addition to Big Rock and RAC Cleaning, a 5-star cleaning company rated by the people for both residential and commercial cleaning. If you want more information, inquire into Big Rock and RAC Cleaning, call 412-203-8213.
And that is the end of a timeout. We are back here at the action between the two teams, Allderdice and Newtown. Allderdice is trying to claw back, basically increasing deficit, whereas Newtown, they're just on the forward momentum so far with a score of 51, whereas Allderdice has just 35 with about 5 minutes, 5 seconds left to go in this fourth quarter and the game.
So that's getting your hand caught in a cookie jar because you were reaching and you got caught.
Why are you describing my childhood? As we now have 2 free throws for number 4 of Newtown. That would be Stefan Marcano. And another whistle blown.
94 feet from the basket. Now both teams are shooting bonus.
Yeah, this is going to be a very tricky one. So far, which team would you say has done better in terms of avoiding fouls, even though both of them have had a lot of fouls so far?
You just answered my question. You just answered. I mean, really neither, because they're both reaching. You know, no team is really defensively as a team playing team defense. Allderdice is showing more resemblance of that, but on the whole, neither.
It's probably pretty much a good way of putting it. Although, of course, it's Allderdice that has more to lose since they're losing right now by quite a wide margin. We'll see if Newtown, if they hold steady, maybe they manage to clean up a bit of their reaching and stuff. What do you think Newtown should do as they try and close out this game?
Well, you know, be smart and play the clock. You're just playing against the clock right now because they're again dominating the glass. That was 3-4 shot attempts on one possession. And they'll go back to the foul line with the clock stopped.
And with that, number 32 of Newtown, that would be
Blake Haber.
Going for some free throws.
Oh, that was 32 that just fouled out of the game, though. And that was their three-point specialist that just fouled out for Allderdice.
Now, how do you think that's going to end up impacting Allderdice on this one?
Well, you still have Jones out there. He's been shooting threes. He's struggling. But at this point of the game, Allderdice needs to find an easy score. No such thing but a smarter score. They need to score and get some more stops on defense to close this margin.
A little bit of disappointment there over one of the calls by the Allderdice coach over there.
But if you look where the ball's like 22 feet from the basket, and you had your player facing the bleacher, not attacking the basket.
And right now that score is 53 points for Newtown, whereas it is 37 points for Allderdice.
So now they're full court man-to-man press. And I do like that Coach Crummy. He's definitely mixing up his presses. So we'll see how smart Newtown plays if they continue to play full speed or if they continue to play the clock. We will see it very heavy at the basket because that's where Newtown has been scoring from.
And yet some more free throws. Like you said, though, Newtown, I think they did would you say that they tried to go a little bit too fast on that last play?
Well, I think so. I mean, you definitely want to keep scoring because you still have almost 3 minutes left to go in the game. But you keep scoring under control. You keep attacking the basket. That's what. And mentally, they're not concentrating.
And actually, as you were talking about body language, I happen to be looking at one exact player who, the way he was just getting into position, it was just not exactly what I wanted to be seeing over there.
And if we don't want to see it, we know Coach Crummy doesn't want to see it.
Yep, and with that is now a 20-point differential in points with Newtown up by a very sizable margin with a little bit under 3 minutes to go. And yet some more points for Newtown, getting up to 59 points. See them in the 60s very soon.
Yeah, that's the one shot, no rebound. Not what Allderdice needs right now.
Yep,
So you can't just look at the ball. You got to force pressure now. You got to force pressure. It comes from traps. And then you got a mismatch down low. They don't recognize it because they're dribbling with their head down. So an instant replay would show that number 12 Allderdice, Sean Graves, was trying to defend 32. For, 32 was Jarrell Johnson, who stands at least 6'3", 6'4". Major mismatch that Newtown missed. So we wouldn't believe at one point in this game it was tied up. It was going back and forth a little bit, not with this margin.
It almost feels like it was like a few games ago where that happened.
Yes.
Like Newtown, they have just pulled ahead in a pretty impressive format. I wish there were some things that they could have done differently, but looks like Allderdice, they've made more mistakes and it has cost them big time.
Well, Newtown took Allderdice right out of their rhythm, and what happened? Allderdice went to the Newtown style of play. Let's dribble and drive, opposed to dribble, drive, and kick. And in this possession, what did we see? Dribble and watch. 33 Jones is dribbling, and his teammates are standing around watching. Resulted in a foul. He goes to the line, but too much dribble.
And with that, 1:50 left in this game, and things just increasingly not looking good for Allderdice here. Even though Allderdice, they do have 2 free throws, chance to get themselves closer to 40. Perhaps that may not happen though, depending on how things go here.
You play to the final horn. You play it hard. You play it as smart as you can for the passion that you have for this game. And both these teams, they all have fight in them. So even though Allderdice is playing, not really like they would have liked to, but they're still fighting. They're still playing it to the end.
And 39 points for Allderdice now after 2 successful free throws. Something I still haven't gotten the hang of saying over this weekend.
So Newtown has dominated inside, and with their subs off the bench, that's exactly where they went to. They went right to the hoop to score.
And once again, Newtown ready for those rebounds. Although one of those players was napping, missed the action from behind. Definitely worthy of a foul there. That call right there.
So that was a 4-on-2, and actually was a 4-on-1, 4-2. Where you have players ahead of you, you got to give the ball up. You got to let it go and share that ball with your teammate.
Oh, absolutely.
So Jones, he struggled the second half from the perimeter, whether it was a layup or a free throw or a three-point shot. He struggled. He finished the first half real strong, but between first and halftime, he came out and he struggled the entire second half.
And currently we have Pittsburgh Allderdice. They're now in the 40s in the point. They just made it to 40 points, but that's still 20 behind behind Newtown, with their 60 points. But we would like to thank another one of our sponsors, which is which we will say, get your copy of the newly released single Worldwide by Boona in all digital stores for just $1. Go to Amazon, iTunes, Spotify, and more to get your copy today. The song Worldwide.
Ken, there's not too many things in this world we can buy for $1.
That's very true. Yeah, actually, I think of all the goods being offered here by all the gracious sponsors, I think that that single, which can make my speakers throw a bit of sparks, that's the least expensive, possibly the best value.
Yes. So we like what we see. Allderdice is still coming out into full court press, so they're playing it to the end, and that is what you want to do.
Yeah, with that, a minute 19 to go in this. I only see maybe Allderdice is going to get like one more shot in, maybe two if they're lucky. It depends on also how the foul trouble goes, but for the most part, it's Newtown in control of almost everything at this point. Some good action over there. Number 23 of Newtown with that beautiful throw in and managing to get some more points on the board. Also, I think number 23 of Newtown, looking over here, looks like he came off of the bench not too long ago. He wasn't really around in that first half.
Right. Yeah, a lot of new players on the court for both teams. Good job on both ends in finishing out this game.
And with that, and another whistle blown, although Allderdice manages to get some more points onto the board.
Malik Robinson, who will go to the line to finish the N1.
And that gives him 2 points on the day with a chance to score a couple more. And that one goes in and out. Allderdice gets that rebound. Or no, Newtown gets that rebound, as Allderdice is just trying to stop progress as much as possible. As Newtown trying to counter the pressure, I'm sure they want to try and play a little bit slower, but trying to counter a bit of that pressure as well. Shooting for three. Allderdice gets one more shot with 2 seconds left. 1 second left, and not enough attention paid over there. Passed it instead of going for the shot, leading time to run out. End of the game with Allderdice with a score of 42, and the traveling Newtown victorious with a score of 63. This is Roxamore Sports Network. You are watching it live here at Woodland Hills High School. This is Ken Abaca alongside my co-host,
Dr. Karen Hall.
and we will be right back with more action later on.